Without love, pain, I can't get enough pain. I like it rough, cause I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all.
Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing one of the first videos that I have decided to do on my channel. And I'm going to do like more of tips and advices on this channel. Also, I'll be doing a special project, but it's going to be in Hebrew. It's going to basically, it's called The Face of Fibro, and I'm going to have different people come tell the story. If it's requested, I will set up subtitles. So if it interests you, really write down a comment down below. Today I'm going to talk about tips for a better night's sleep. I guess that, okay. For a better good night's sleep. So yeah, let's get started. So the first tip is, as difficult as this sounds, don't take naps. Now this is very difficult when it comes to fibro because sometimes you just don't have the energy. So I will recommend that if you can, don't take naps, even sleep longer. But sometimes there are periods of time in the year specifically, like during like January and February, where I've learned that I really need that extra night's sleep. So that extra nap in the afternoon. I'm sorry, I'm all confused. But I decided to, what you should do if you take naps is really set up a timer and really evaluate if it's worth the energy. Because sometimes recuperating from sleep or naps takes quite a bit of effort. So sometimes it's not even worth it. So there are periods of time I do try not to take random naps, and that's going to be my greatest advice. Sometimes I lie down, but I don't lie down on my bed, and that leads me to my next advice. But I lie down, I lie down and like outside and with some music or something like that. I do take relaxations throughout the day. Okay, so I think the lighting is fridging around a little bit, so I'm sorry for that. The next thing is make your bed your sleep for sleeping. This is like a known advice, but for some reason people don't really talk about it too much. But don't use your bed for other activities, simply because what will happen is you are setting up a precondition in your head and your psychology that your bed is for sleeping. So when you get into your bed, you sleep. Well, that and obviously sex, but when you get into your bed, you're sleeping. So if you keep your bed for that purpose only, every time you get into your bed, your body's going to automatically start relaxing, realizing this is time to go to sleep. That will help to precondition your body and will help you ease into sleep. Number three is something very interesting. That's an issue that has been risen lately, and that's not using any electronic devices before you go to bed. I've read 30 minutes to an hour. I will admit this is one of the most impossible things for me as a social media junkie, as a YouTuber, blogger, and as somebody who reads online everything. This is almost impossible for me. I do try to minimize it and do try to like not stare at my computer for about 20 minutes before I go to sleep. If you can do this, this is great. If you're reading, you should move back to paper books. This is better than reading them on your different devices. The next tip is don't do rigorous activities before you go to sleep. Maybe this is something that you didn't even think about, but because quite honestly, most fibromates are not exactly runners or heavy weightlifters, but don't do anything to really set your to boost your adrenaline. This is a common recommendation to anybody. It has nothing to do with fiber, but even more from fiber, because what I've learned personally is that it keeps me, it does give me a spike, a really big spike, so don't do that. The other thing that I'm going to recommend, and this from personal experience, is when you set up a timer or an alarm, a set alarm on your phone to go to sleep. And at that time, it doesn't matter where you are, what you are, go to sleep. And keep a regular sleeping hour. I've learned that there's a certain point of the day where I'm really exhausted and tired, and all of a sudden I say, okay, I'm going to sleep an hour, and all of a sudden after that hour I have a spike in energy and I can't fall asleep. Well, if you keep a regular hour of bedtime, if you keep a regular bedtime, basically you're going to find yourself falling better. You're going to find that those spikes of energy are not going to recur so much. So I do recommend that. The next recommendation has to do with nights without sleep. So obviously, if you have chronic fatigue, your sleep sucks, and not only that, a lot of times you'll find that no matter how tired you are, you can't fall asleep. So sometimes what I do is I get out of my bed and I walk around and I do something very relaxing and not rigorous, and I read a little bit, not in my bed, and then I get back into my bed, establishing again the precondition of my bed equals sleep. So sometimes that helps to fall asleep, but sometimes that doesn't help and I don't find myself falling asleep until 7 o'clock in the morning. When that happens, try not to sleep 12 hours, 13 hours. You might have done that before. Try to wake up. So if I fall asleep at 6 o'clock, I will make a point of getting up by noon. And that is as opposed to regular days where I try to wake up around 9 unless I have something to do, wake up earlier. So do try not to oversleep or even sleep less than you would, and just don't oversleep. That totally screws you up, and then it's very hard to get back into the groove and back into the rhythm. So that's a really high recommendation that I have for that. Now, the next recommendation or tip or topic is what has to do with supplements and all that topic. Now, I take supplements, and I've spoken about this before. I don't take anything really unusual. I take like calcium and vitamin D and vitamin A and B12 because that my doctor actually makes me take, and omega-3 and some other like complex thingies. But one of the other things that I do take is I do take melatonin. And melatonin is something that is a supplement. It's a natural hormone that we have in our body, and it's the hormone basically it comes from our brain, and it basically tells our body, go to sleep. Now, I don't think this works for everybody. I think that you have to stay very relaxed. I think a lot of times we get very, very hyper about how we deal with these things. But I do take it, and I do notice a difference. My sleep, my falling asleep process, that 30 minutes of lying in bed and actually falling asleep, with the 10 minutes if I'm lucky, it's just, I ease into my sleep much better. When I take the slow release, I've learned that my sleep, I dream better. That is another thing, this slow release and short release, I guess you would say. So figure out what works for you. Do consult with your doctor. Most of the doctors that I've spoken about this topic, they say, what hurts, take it. That's like the philosophy. It doesn't contradict the other medication that I do take. So I will recommend trying it. I will put a link down below, and by the way, you can get a discount code. There's a discount code down below if you want to use. I use iHerb for all my supplements and vitamins. But do try and do consult, see if that helps you. And for me personally, it works, so I can only recommend it for my personal experience. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, so please keep that in mind. I know that sleep is a very, very, very sensitive topic for most people with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, for obvious reasons, the latter. But really, there are things that you can do to improve your sleep. Again, these tips and tricks, and keeping your body ease into your sleep process. So if you like this, if you have any other tips, please write them down below. I'd like to see what you think. That's what the comment box is there for. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. So you can follow all my other social media and all my other channels down below in the description box. And that's it. Have a lovely day. Bye.